I love physical media and I love horror movies. 2024 was a great year for horror movies, but let's take a look at the future to 2025 and go for the 10 most anticipated horror movies that you can look forward to in 2025. Kicking off our list, we've got number 10, we've got The Bride from Maggie Gyllenhaal, and it's a sort of reimagining, a sort of remake of Bride of Frankenstein starring Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale. Christian Bale plays Frankenstein's monster in this film. It comes out on September 26th, 2025. So we've got quite a long way to look forward to it, but this movie, it looks fantastic just from the premise and all the images that we've seen from filming. And Maggie Gyllenhaal, it might be her one of her first movies that she's making, but it's got plenty of people behind the camera and in front of the camera as well that make it look like it's going to be a new horror classic. I love The Bride of Frankenstein. I love everything about the character. I love the original movie, the mazes that they've done at Halloween Horror Nights. And so if you like Bride of Frankenstein, you might look forward to The Bride a little bit. It's a pretty good looking reimagining of the classic Universal monster. So let's hope it's good, and let's hope that number 10 on this list is up to the expectations that we have. Number 9, we've got Companion from Zach Cregger, the filmmaker behind Barbarian. It comes out on January 31st, and this one stars Sophie Thatcher. It has Jack Quaid, and you can go watch this one for yourself. You can see the trailer at least. It looks wild. It looks out there. It looks everything we would want out of a weird horror movie in 2025. We won't have to wait very long to see this one. I'm looking forward to it. I love Sophie Thatcher. She's a great actress. I love Jack Quaid. He's an amazing actor. Zach Cregger was a fantastic director in Barbarian. If you haven't seen Barbarian, go check that one out as well. It's available on Hulu. And Companion, let's hope it's as good as Barbarian. Let's hope it can live up to some of the hype that we're going to give it. But it is definitely one of the most anticipated horror movies of 2025. And we don't have to wait very long to go see it. Just, first month of the year basically here. So check out Companion, and it's one of my most anticipated for 2025. Do you like zombies? Do you like zombies that run really, really fast? They're really scary and kind of aggressive and all of that? Well, at number 8, we've got 28 Years Later. It comes out on June 20th, and they just finished filming this one. They're filming another to go with it, but it is a continuation of 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later. So, it looks like a fantastic movie. They apparently shot it on an iPhone, a heavily modified iPhone, but still an iPhone nonetheless. And if you like zombies, if you like really aggressive stuff about this collapse of society, well, this is after that, and this is going to tell whatever story they're going to tell. It looks fantastic. It sounds fantastic. The cast looks great. All of this is adding to a hugely anticipated horror movie that's coming out in 2025. 28 Years Later looks and sounds amazing, so here's hoping that it's as good as it sounds. Number 7, we have the earliest entry on the list here. We have Wolfman, which comes out on January 17th. You can check out the trailer right now. There was a bit of controversy here around the time that Halloween Horror Nights opened because Universal did have somebody in a Wolfman costume, and people were assuming, hey, it's going to look like this, right? Well, if you go watch the trailer and you know a little thing or two about Lee Wannell, the director and writer of this film, he's not going to give away what the monster looks exactly like in the trailer. That would be stupid. You're going to go see Wolfman for some great performances. The trailer looks frightening. If this is anything like The Invisible Man, it's going to be great because that movie was fantastic. This movie looks fantastic. We haven't had that many werewolves in Hollywood these days. We need more. We've got vampires, we've got zombies, we've got serial killers, we've got whatever else. We need more werewolf movies. And, we had a glut of them in the 80s that were great. We had some in the 90s and the early 2000s. But now it seems like the werewolves have gone dormant a bit, and they need to come back. Hopefully with Wolfman, they can come back. This movie looks fantastic. Go check out the trailer for yourself if you need to. But it's one of the most anticipated of 2025, and we don't have to wait very long to go see it. Did you like Longlegs? Because you might like his next movie, Osgood Perkins, the director of that film, The Monkey. It comes out on February 21st, and it's based on a Stephen King short story, so it's at least got that pedigree. And if you watch the trailer, this also looks fantastic. Osgood Perkins' directing style is just by itself. He's him. He's him. That's what it is. This one looks fantastic. It's about a guy who finds this child's toy that ends up leading to people's deaths, and he has to stop it from happening. If you haven't read the original short story, you don't really need to. The plot is pretty self-explanatory, but Osgood Perkins, great director, great writer. He's coming off of Longlegs, which was one of my favorite movies of 2024. So hopefully this one can continue his streak and we get a great movie with the monkey. It should be a little bit less on the unsettling, scary side and more on the sort of funny, dark comedy, horror side. Number 5, Eli Roth is back with Thanksgiving 2. Yes, we're getting a sequel to the wonderful, surprisingly good Thanksgiving, the holiday-themed slasher based on an old Grindhouse trailer that was for a fake movie that was now a real movie that is now getting a sequel. The plot details for this one are a little bit, you know, you're going to have John Carver back. You're going to have the characters back that survived Thanksgiving. Eli Roth is back to direct and write this one. So you're getting all of the same pieces from the first movie. Hopefully they can make it up and make the second movie even better. Slasher sequels, you know, we don't get that many slasher sequels these days because you're not getting that many slashers in general in 2024 and 2025. It's really just like the Terrifier series at this point. But hopefully we end up with a franchise because John Carver was one of my favorite new slasher villains. And Thanksgiving, the first one, was mean-spirited as hell, had some great kills, and hopefully they can continue and up the ante in Thanksgiving 2. This one, the release date is TBD. It's probably going to come out around November of 2025 because, hell, it's called Thanksgiving. So we'll see when we get there, but it'll probably be somewhere later in the year. Thanksgiving 2 looks amazing. Hopefully it'll be great. Number 4, we have Megan 2.0, and this is a sequel to Megan, which was one of the best horror films early from last year, and she became a horror icon. I mentioned before we don't get many slasher sequels. Well, guess what? We've got 2 in a row because the killer artificial intelligence doll is back and ready for more violence. Who knows what they're going to do? Hopefully they up it in Megan 2. This one comes out on June 27th, so it's not coming out in January. It's coming out in June this time, so you're getting a summer release. So maybe that changes the vibe of the film a little bit, but the first one was one of my favorites, and the second one, hopefully it's even better and just ups the ante, and we get finally something leading to maybe Megan versus Chucky, because Lord knows we don't have enough versus films these days either. We need some horror villains going up against each other, trying to duke it out to kill people. That would be great, right? Wouldn't it be great to see Megan versus Chucky? But Megan 2.0, one of the most anticipated of 2025. The first film was highly regarded by fans of the series. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is your third most anticipated horror film of 2025. It releases in theaters, the latest of any movie on the list, at December 5th, 2025. So we have to wait quite a long time for this, but it will be worth it. The original Five Nights at Freddy's, I gave it a somewhat poor review when it came out, but then I came around on the film because it basically was what it is. It is an introduction to people that might not like horror movies to like horror movies. It is a gateway horror film, so hopefully the second one ups the ante. We get more characters, more fan favorite characters from it that people want from the video games, because there's so much to get from the video games to put into these movies. So hopefully they can get through all of it. But with the second film, it is highly anticipated and highly sought out by fans of Five Nights at Freddy's. So let's hope that Five Nights at Freddy's 2, coming on December 5th, is good. Number 2, we had to wait quite a long time for this one, and it was supposed to come out in 2024, but that is Saw 11. And Saw 11 comes out in theaters on September 26th, and so we've had to wait so long for this. Saw X was a revitalization of the series. It gave the series its bite back. It gave it characters that we know and love, and it gave it an out, basically, to after Spiral, which I did enjoy, but it was, you know, fine. They needed something new. Well, they didn't really need something new because they needed something old, and they're going back to that well with Kevin Grutter, with the director. It should come out this year. Cross your fingers, Saw fans. Hopefully it does, and hopefully it is as good as Saw X was, because that movie was a revelation of blood and gore. It was fantastic. Loved Saw X. Huge anticipation for Saw 11, so we can only hope that it releases in 2025, and we can only hope that it is as good or better than Saw X. What's the most anticipated horror movie of 2025, for me at least? It's The Black Phone 2, coming on October 17th, from director Scott Derrickson. I don't know how they're going to do this film. The first movie was one of my favorites of that year, and the second movie, well, how are they going to figure it out? You could do a whole entire video on what the plot of The Black Phone 2 is going to be, but everyone's back. Ethan Hawke is back as the grabber. Mason Thames is back. They're going to figure it out. It should be a high school movie, I guess they're saying. The first one was a middle school movie. This is a high school movie. Maybe the grabber comes back in some supernatural way. Well, if you have a theory on that, actually, let me know in the comments what you think of what's going to happen in The Black Phone 2. But I am looking so forward to this film. I loved the first one. The grabber was an instant horror classic character. Let's hope they can do it better here with, the whole team basically from the first film coming back to do more of The Black Phone. So that's the list. Did any of your favorites make it? Are you looking forward to Five Nights at Freddy's 2? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to let me know just how much you like this video, and so you can watch future videos of mine as well. And if you like this video, maybe you should check out this list that's 13 horror movies that you need to be talking about that people aren't.